Welcome back to Fair and Friends Friday. I'm Karen Waltuck, the horticulturist for the Beatrix Farrand Garden in Hyde Park, New York. Our garden is located on the grounds of the home of FDR National Historic Site. But today I thought we would take a field trip across the woods to Valkill, which is the last home of Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady to Franklin. It has some very interesting history and some beautiful, beautiful grounds that we're going to learn today with Anna de Cordova, the National Park Service horticulturist. So if you have any questions about things you'd like us to cover in future videos, you can always send us an email to info@beatrixfarrandgarden.hydepark.org. But now let's go join Anna.
Hi, welcome to Valkill. I'm Anna de Cordova, the horticulturist at the National Parks, and Valkill is one of many home properties in our park. This was the home of Eleanor Roosevelt, and it is a National Historic Site in its own right, and also part of our Roosevelt Vanderbilt National Historic Site. Eleanor Roosevelt married Franklin Roosevelt in 1905, and that means that she became a neighbor of the Newbolds and the Farrand Garden upon marrying Franklin. And this property, Valkill, was very important to both Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt. It was a place for them to relax, recreate, enjoy family and friends, and really develop their political lives with their friends who influenced, educated, and helped them accomplish their impressive careers in politics. So Valkill was just a property where they enjoyed picnicking and being in the great outdoors when they lived at Springwood. And in 1927, Eleanor Roosevelt, with two friends, Nancy Cook and Marion Dickerman, leased this land from Franklin and built a cottage with his support and help. He actually helped with the design of the stone cottage, and you can see that Dutch vernacular architecture that Franklin Roosevelt loved so much. And it allowed them to be in Hyde Park year-round. Springwood closed in the winter because it was essentially, not a winter house, and two, very reliant on staff that relocated to New York City for the winter and came back to Springwood in the summer. This property requires a lot less staff, though the Roosevelts, with their busy lives, always had help with basic land management, cooking, cleaning, etc., but it wasn't run on the same model as the big Hudson River estates. When you visit Valkill, you'll see that everything at Valkill is about enjoying the great outdoors. That was really the ultimate recreational experience for the Roosevelts, and Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt loved a crowd. There were always lots of people here, and everything was organized around outdoor activities. They have a big, beautiful swimming pool here where Franklin could get exercise and the family and friends could have a lot of fun. Relaxed gardens, outdoor spaces for dining, many closed screen porches where they also dined, a tennis/badminton court. It's got yellow lines for badminton and white lines for tennis, so pick your game. And horses, bicycles, boating, picnicking, square dances, parties. It just went on, and everything was about having as many people here to enjoy it and to be outdoors. Really, Valkill was so helpful to the Roosevelts. We have what we call Valkill diplomacy or picnic diplomacy, and that is just the idea that without a lot of pretense and protocol, the Roosevelts entertained very important and influential people here. And what they found is that if you provide the more relaxed atmosphere, if you give people the recreational setting and you drop some of the formality, that people are more likely to go off script and engage and get the real work done. So Valkill was a very effective tool for them, as much as it was just a really wonderful place in their hearts for their family and friends to relax and enjoy each other. One of the wonderful parts of Valkill history is Valkill Industries, the factory. It's the building you see behind me, and I think it's so remarkable that the Roosevelts built a beautiful country house as a retreat, getaway, and family and friend relax place. And 20 yards behind it, they erected Valkill Industries factory, which was for furniture making to train local people, farmers and young people coming up and needing work in a skill that was marketable and profitable. Selling furniture in the Great Depression was a non-starter, so in 1938 they closed the factory, and Eleanor Roosevelt decided that that would make a perfectly suitable home for her, and she reworked the factory building into what became her permanent residence after Franklin Roosevelt died. Now we're in Eleanor Roosevelt's cutting garden. This was kind of the working side of the Valkill landscape, not a garden to sit and relax in, but one that Eleanor Roosevelt came to every morning to cut flowers and have them for vases around the house, outdoor on picnic tables, and to give to friends and family who visited Valkill to take back to New York City. I think it's really interesting that she included so many aspects that were already covered at the Springwood estate. She didn't need more cut flowers. She didn't need a vegetable garden. She didn't really need horses. All of this was here on the property at Springwood, but they were such strong elements of home to her that they were replicated at Valkill for people to enjoy right here. So I think that's really telling of what was important to Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt about home life. So in the cutting garden, this really is exactly how Eleanor Roosevelt had it laid out, and the content of the garden were just annuals and perennials that made great cut flowers. We have an iris collection which has been at Valkill for many, many years, same with the peonies. We grow dahlias and other annuals for cutting that we know through photo documentation were grown here. We've had some fun with the historic dahlias because there are many named dahlias from the era that Eleanor Roosevelt lived here that have some kind of connection to Valkill, named for people that Eleanor Roosevelt knew or was friends with. Of course, dignitaries, so it's fun to include things in the garden that reference her life and her really importance on the world stage. So that's a fun aspect that we play around with here. You have to look into the details to really see that, but it's kind of a nice feature of this garden. In fact, the little tiny iris behind me is Eleanor Roosevelt. So that's kind of a little part of the charm of these gardens. Many of you might be familiar with the beautiful oak trees in the field in front of Springwood that you pass along Route 9. Eleanor Roosevelt was also a fan of those gorgeous trees, and in fact she brought a seedling here to Valkill in a coffee can and planted it, and her caretakers were careful not to mow over her little seedling coffee can tree, and this gorgeous oak is what we have to thank Eleanor Roosevelt for and her vision for what Valkill could become. So lovely that she really thought about things she cherished and made sure that she brought them here herself.
Thanks a lot for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, you can always send us your questions and suggestions for future video topics to info@beatrixfarrandgarden.hydepark.org. We'll see you next week.